cooperative and competitive labor processes. This is, for me, a new aspect of labor relations that it's important because it changes what I call the working class social being. These changes have developed in two aspects. The first one, because what happened was the reshaping of the collective laborer understood that the complex of positions, of technical positions and its relations, and their relations, and also the change of workers' collectives, understood as the subjective relations between groups of workers, among groups of workers who share daily relationships and daily labor processes. With all the mediations of the case, I think that these mutations underlie the important changes that the global labor movement has been experiencing during the last years. The emergence of global networks is one of these shifts. So my current research questions are: which are the conditions that shape union power in a globalization context? And related to this, what are the networks? I understand them as workers and union responses to companies' globalizations. Since networks are new organizational configurations aimed to confront global companies, they represent a break in labor union institutional frames. In fact, we could say they express the need of a global labor relations frame, and they involve tensions with the national structured labor movements. At the same time, those labor relations structures have strongly contributed to shape the visions about the power and possibilities of unions, and also the perspectives, the horizons that labor leaders, workers, and activists hold. The networks are themselves an opportunity to change those frames and to expand the process of building accurate workers' organizations for the current balance of power. One of my problems I have registered in my fieldwork is linked with the relationships between action scales and how they are shaped through union practices. Most of workers, of rank and file workers, to say, they consider that global aspects of daily relations are just only a matter of corporation power. Furthermore, the social experience of several working class generations was forged in nationalistic and local visions about union power, economic development, production scales, and etc. In this sense, they conceive the international or global aspects of social relations just as causing them trouble and weakness, fear to delocalization, dumping, cheaper workers' competition. This vision strongly contributes to the reproduction of the idea that the best defense of working conditions and wages is a strengthening of local movements without taking into account the global relations that are constitutive of the local conditions. As I think Carlos described this in a sense, this situation. Then, in this sense, I think that the network, the main network's opportunity is to turn this feeling, this sensation of corporate power into the building of workers' potential. Through the fieldwork, I could identify some concrete and particular limitations and opportunities linked to different aspects of the network unfolding. So I just summarize them in order to discuss these issues. First, related to the network improvement and development. One of kind of limitations I've noticed in the meetings and my interviews with leaders and activists is a kind of what I can call lack of enthusiasm of national unions. Because the conservative reaction to corporate centralization processes, they try to keep the former achievements and to discuss this in the local level rather than discuss broader agreements or the improvement of working conditions in a broader context. sometimes because leaders feel that they can better control this kind of this level of bargaining, and this vision matches with company's vision that says that they don't need, that the company doesn't need a global bargaining scope because they just can do the agreements at the local level. So in this sense, it's an obstacle for the development of the network. And linked to this, to this lack of enthusiasm, the lack of resources for the meetings, for the network activities. There are a lot of discussions about who must to support financially the network and the network activities, and these are arrangements that are made and remain, and these are discussions all the time, and then I think it's a problem, or it's a limitation. That, as Carlos said, the network is unfolding, so limitations can turn into opportunities sooner. And then sometimes local or national interest linked to these visions and linked to these kind of practices, they are obstacles for the development of some labor international solidarity activities, mainly not for those solidarity strikes or solidarity activities, but mainly for the building of a global union identity. I think it's a question, it's an issue that the network is building slowly, and I'm optimistic about this, but nowadays it's a limitation. Related to these limitations, the opportunities that the network has developed are the expression of solidarity with local conflicts, as Jorge showed in the case of Canada or Italy. The supporting of unionization processes in authoritarian contexts, as Jorge showed in Colombia and in Guatemala, and the discussion of a global vision among unions involving the whole workforce in order to confront corporate policies as a whole rather than as a multiplicity of dispersed actors. Okay. Then, the other topic I wanted to talk about, it was about the organizational scope of the network. Main limitations here are that not all the unions organizing Tenaris-Ternium workers are members of the network, and that rank-and-file workers and activists are not always aware of the importance of international relations for local union power. The opportunities related to this are that the network can enlarge the representation, encouraging the involvement of local activists in network activities, taking the network activities to shop floor, for example, through the actions days and other activities. The workers' representation is another topic. Here the main limitations are that the network company basis may limit the representations of subcontracted workers employed by other companies subsumed by Tenaris-Ternium. And, I talked about this also. And the opportunities are that I think that, for example, Industrial aims to organize global commodity change. This is a good argument in order to try to expand the organizational scope of the network. And some unions of the network are actively involved with the confrontation of subcontracting policies and with the organization of subcontracted workers. So this is an experience that can be taken. And related to claims and demands, main limitations are the lack of a common set of demands and that the company refuses to discuss collective agreements. And the opportunities are that there are linked to some topics in the program of Industrial that may be useful in order to build general demands, global demands, and that the opportunity is also to discuss global policies in order to produce an equalitarian effect as a fact beyond the shaping of a global frame agreement. Mainly related to information exchange, many opportunities are linked to the possibility of informing daily activities and local conflicts and grievances, and to produce information about wages, national level of wages, and the bundle of needs set up at each country. This is an important, a powerful tool for building union power. And the last of the last is that I also registered three kinds of tensions in the development of network discussions that I think they are important in order to understand its development. There are different attitudes to company, confrontation, versus partnership. Related to legal frame, if it limits the lack of an international legal frame, constrains the development of international policies, union policies, or if the network has to produce those policies in order to change the legal frame. And finally, if the network is merely a device for information exchange, or if it can be performing global activism for stakeholders. Thank you.